discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a registered broker-dealer, member FINRA SIPC. Fixed insurance is offered through various independent insurance companies. Cambridge does not offer tax or legal advice.
Welcome to the SA Update, your go-to for insightful conversations and timely topics to empower clients and communities with financial confidence. I'm your host, Mike Schuster.
So for today, I've asked our event host for Cambridge Investment Research, where we have our fiduciary license, Shad Kunkle, to join me. Interesting fun fact about Shad. He's exactly one day. We're both born in January of 1973. We're exactly one day apart. Shad, welcome to my podcast, and thanks for joining me for this.
It's an honor to be here. I'm glad that we're changing America one podcast at a time.
Yes. Hey, and so, I didn't mention this. You are from Chicago, which is now the home of our new Pope, Pope Leo XIV. So
that is correct. I felt close to the decision. I felt like I was going to be in it, but then apparently they said he was a Cubs fan and he's a White Sox fan, actually. So a lot of misreporting. So, that's the real deciding factor, Cubs or White Sox. So we'll have to figure out how he does.
Yeah, so hopefully he does visit your hometown there. So Shad, let's talk about Zoom or just videoing. We've all been on terrible Zooms or terrible Teams meetings. Talk about camera or no camera. What is the best way to, in your opinion, because I should tell our viewers, you do some consulting on the side and help people with public speaking, and public speaking is also on videos, correct, Shad?
That is correct. Presentation skills, storytelling, communication skills, these are all the root of everything that I do. And you have to learn all this stuff before you can practice it. And so when it comes to cameras on or cameras off, you have to look at the original intent of why we had the cameras on in the first place. The whole point is to simulate the fact that the two of us are in the same room together. Right. And that means that you've got to follow the same rules that you would have if you were having a conversation with somebody right now. I think what happens is we've gotten a little bit lazy. We know that they're not really here. We can kind of say, I'm listening. But that's just as rude as somebody who's not looking at you and talking to you in the room. The whole point of the technology is to make it feel more personal. And there's so much we're communicating from our facial expressions, from our gestures, from things that are happening that just get lost on strict audio. So yes.
So let's talk about background. You can see my background today. We just talked, we just bought a new camera for my office, and you obviously choose your background carefully too, because I know this from our conversations. Talk about backgrounds and what's important for background. Should you do natural? Should you create a artificial one? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I guess it's unique to your space. I think that the most important thing about the background is that it stay in the background. When the background becomes the point of emphasis or a distraction, then that's when it becomes challenging. I have an office downstairs where I use green screen, and I put an office background in the green screen. The most important thing is that you want to simulate the light you need so that we can see each other's face, even though right now my lighting is not great. I acknowledge that. But what you want is a good ring light and a projection of something in the background that's not going to really distract people. Yes, if you can pull off a natural light situation, then go for it. I tried today to so effect. Otherwise, a green screen and a ring light can pull off a lot of different things, but then you just got to make sure you wear the right colors so that you're not showing up as a floating head.
Yeah. So last question I would ask you is, should you be doing email, checking your phone? I mean, what kind of things etiquette wise should you be really doing when you're whether you're on a Zoom call or on a whatever you're doing? I mean, what kind of etiquettes do you recommend?
Well, first of all, again, I think it's just like the person's in the room. Would you check your email in front of somebody in the middle of a conversation? Would you only if the conversation requests it? Can you confirm that? Then go into your email and check it out. But if you're multitasking, that means you are not participating in the call. It's as simple as that. You can only do one thing at a time. Your brain is switching from one thing to the next, from one thing to the next, and you're going to be worse at whatever it is you're doing if you're not paying attention to what's happening in front of you, the conversation that's happening. If you're looking at email, you're having a conversation with yourself, not with the person in front of you. And that's going to be a distraction from a good conversation. So
Yeah.
I say respect the intent of the technology and yeah, absolutely limit those things. They are just things to keep your attention when your attention should be on the words that they're saying.
Yeah, and that's all good advice. And we've all had disastrous podcasts or Zoom calls, I would say. So tell me, do you have any specific stories or train wrecks you've seen when you've been on one?
You know, the one that was the worst was when COVID first happened, and a group that I was working with wanted me to do a Zoom presentation to some people, and it was to a room full of people. And so
Wow.
it was me trying to ask questions to individual people in a room in front of a big projector screen. I had accidentally downloaded an app called Snap Camera,
Oh,
which kept interfering with the camera. So I became max headroom at some point, trying to talk to 15 people who did not want to be in the room
oh,
at the
yeah.
time. And it understanding that this is not a save all, that you have to pick and choose the one-on-ones that you're having with people. And if you're going to do a webinar sort of thing, then you have to limit it to a certain amount of people if you expect some sort of active participation from somebody else. So know what level of engagement you want from people. And then as a listener yourself, try to be actively engaged. So yeah, those are the ones that were the worst, is when I was trying to ask, no, the person in the back over in that corner over there, can that person tell me their name?
Yeah.
Uh,
And
it
that
was
makes it
the
tough.
worst.
Yeah, it does. Well, Shad, I'm looking forward to seeing you again this summer. It's good to catch up with you. Thanks again for being our guest today. On those of us in the summer, we're traveling, and we often have to stay in touch with our clients or just our work partners. And it's always good to have good Zoom etiquette or Teams etiquette. So, Shad, thanks again. We'll see you this summer, bud.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Anytime.
Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research Inc., a registered broker-dealer, member FINRA SIPC. Fixed insurance is offered through various independent insurance companies. Cambridge does not offer tax or legal advice.